All right, so Bo, a wrap up of the Masters. We've just finished having dinner as you head into Hilton Head, but your thoughts on the week at the Masters? Your third consecutive top 20.
It's a great week. It's a great opportunity to get to play Augusta National and the Masters. Obviously would like to shut a little bit around on Sunday, but all in all, it was a great week. My game didn't feel that great going into the week, so to finish top 20 in the majors, always feel good coming in, coming off that.
That has to make you feel good about the corrections that you're able to do with Mark Wood. I know a PGA professional that you're working with, Mark Wood. You've been working with him for years. But to be able to go into a major championship like the Masters and have a great result, you had to have some good work going in.
For sure. Mark came out and, we were in Tulsa for a couple days the week before and then, went to Augusta all week and, just got back to fundamentals. And I think that's a great tip for, people at home watching is, certain things like your address and your stance and your posture, they can make such a big impact on how you're playing. And, I just got off on some of those things that was, leading to some bad results early in the year. And we just tried to get back to the fundamentals. Augusta is a place I love to go play and, feel comfortable on the golf course and, got things, feel like the ship got righted a little bit and, look forward to this week at Hilton Head.
Boy, it kind of underscores the value of a PGA professional, doesn't it, when you have a guy like Mark Wood?
Yeah, Mark and I, we met at Golf Digest camp when I was a kid, and, he's been a PGA pro forever. And I've entrusted him with my game the last, 13 years. We've been working together since 2000, and, not only is he a great, teacher, teaches out of Fiddler's Elbow up there in New Jersey, but he's become a great friend, and, he's an eye that I trust, and that's the thing with people at home. You can feel like you're doing one thing, but sometimes you need that trusted eye, and that's what Mark provides for me, and that's what your local PGA pro is going to provide for you at home.
Talk about the greens at Augusta, because for 4 different days you had 4 different greens, didn't you?
Yeah, and they do such a great job of getting the golf course ready, but I was telling you at dinner, you get thinking that they're going to be so fast on Thursday, and you're very cautious. And the greens weren't as fast as I thought they were going to be on Thursday. And then you had a day like Saturday where they got extremely fast. And then Sunday we had the rain come and they were kind of, they were slower than probably that they wanted. So it was tough for me to adjust to that. My speed control wasn't where I thought it should be. And I saw other guys struggling with that too, and I think it's just hard in your mind when you get imprinted that, a certain putt, you've had it years before and how fast it is. And when it doesn't play quite that way, it's hard to make yourself hit the ball, as hard as needed to be hit.
Hey, Bo, final thing. Talk about Hilton Head. What a way to wrap up a stretch. You go to the Masters, and it's intense, and it's crazy, and then you come to beautiful Hilton Head Island, and a very nice course here at Harbortown.
Yeah, Harbortown's it's just a gym. It's stood the test of time. We're so thankful that RBC came along and renewed the sponsorship here, and we get to continue to play here. Like you said, it's a laid-back week. It's a good family week. People are they're living the island life out here on Hilton Head, and it's just a unique test. You can hit the fairway here at Harbortown and not have a clean shot to the green. You got small greens, not a lot of rough. Greens are pretty flat, but yet the scores aren't very low. I think it just goes to show you that you don't have to build a 8,000-yard golf course with 6-inch rough to protect par. And it's one that the guys who come here, they love coming here, and they wouldn't miss it for the world.
Hey, Bo, as always, thanks for your time, man. Have a great week.
Thank you.